Hey, it's Natha. Let's talk some astrology for May 2nd through the 8th. So we have just had our first of two eclipses in the axis of Taurus-Scorpio. This was a new moon eclipse in the sign of Taurus. We're still under the influence of that. We will be for the next at least 6 months. This is really about seeing your own worth, really understanding what brings you pleasure and satiation, and making sure that what you're trying to build in your life actually has foundation, actually has some ground to it. So the things that you can touch and feel and smell are going to become more valuable than the things that are more virtual in nature or more hopeful in nature. So do be paying attention to the difference between those two. And we also just had Pluto station to go retrograde, which means that, again, we're still in that time period of being delivered the lessons. Here's what you want to be looking at for the next few months as this planet goes retrograde and asks you to go back over old ground. So any kind of fears or insecurities that have been rising up, or places that feel like, ooh, that feels sticky. I feel like I might want to look at that a little bit more, or relationship dynamics, anything like that that seems to have kind of hit you over and over again over the last week. Pay attention to that, because it's a lot easier to understand what you're meant to be learning so that you can choose the teachers and the information that you use to bring in the lesson, as opposed to just allowing the universe to bring in the relationships and the situations to teach you the lessons. We don't have as much control as we like to think we do, but there are areas where if we're paying attention, we can really get in and kind of engineer things in a way that feels more comfortable. The big news this week is that Uranus and the sun are going to come together. And, the sun being about our ego and Uranus being about things that need to shift and change and revolutionize. The ego, of course, is the part of us that is a little bit more protective in nature and organizational. So a lot of times our ego wants to come in and tell us stories. You have to act a certain way, accomplish certain things, get a certain kind of reflection from people in order to have value. So go for it. Do what you need to do so that people will reflect back to you that you're valuable. But, that really gets in our way. It's not very useful advice. And again, it's just self-protective and it's just organizational. So what you want to be looking for, the questions around who am I really? Like, who would I be? What would I say? What would I do if it really made absolutely no difference what other people thought about me and I didn't need approval from them? All right, some food for thought. If you want to schedule a private reading, you can do that at electraastrology.com. I'll see you next week.